flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First of all, I would like to welcome our newest member, Diana Phillips. She is our newest appointment from the mayor. This is the position that the mayor has to fill to replace the one that was unappointed previously, was Corinne Westerfield. So welcome, Diana.
Thank you.
All right, to start with, I'll turn it over to Lindsay with the minutes from previous.
For May 8th, 2019, Amy Hammonds called the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. For reports for the approval of the minutes from March 21st, 2019 emergency meeting, Corinne Westerfield asked to make several corrections to the minutes and handed out her own version of the minutes. Harold Gordon clarified that he did in fact say what he did in the minutes written by Lindsay Brooks. Clarification was made that the Bicentennial Committee did in fact ask for the $14,000 from the county commissioners. Amy Hammonds made it clear that the minutes that are being gone over are the ones taken by the secretary. Daniel Phelps made a motion to accept the minutes as corrected that Lindsay Brooks recorded. Tamara DeGroat seconded. Motion carried. Approval of minutes for April 10th, 2019, regularly scheduled meeting. Corinne Westerfield noted that the Whitewater campgrounds were added to the video project. Daniel Phelps asked the HCI grant to have a dollar sign. Daniel Phelps made a motion to accept the minutes as corrected. Tamara DeGroat seconded. Motion carried. For treasurer report, the balance was $87,087.79. The bicentennial balance was $29,738.17. For old business, Angel Perez asked for information about the courthouse for the website. Lindsay Brooks also has been trained on how to edit and add information on the website. Corinne Westerfield asked where we are at for the credit card information for the bicentennial. Amy Hammond said Tamara DeGroat has a square to use on the bicentennial phone. Service fees are 3% if card is swiped, 5% if manually entered. Tamara DeGroat made a motion to use the square for the bicentennial event. Daniel seconded. Motion carried. Tamara will get bicentennial members set up on how to use the phone and square. For History in Your Own Backyard community videos, postponed to June 1st due to weather, Harold Gordon said they are all lined up and scheduled. For new business, Michael Seasons from the Lion Club helicopter rides and ball drop, asking for $2,500 to update signage and advertise in out-of-county radio stations and newspapers. June 21st and 22nd, 2019, approximately 500 people will attend. Oh, you said that was Stevens, didn't you?
Stevens, yes.
Okay, Daniel made a motion to approve the grant request as written. Lindsay seconded. Motion carried. Jenny Sparks reported for the Bicentennial Committee, wanted to thank Amy Hammonds, president of the Fayette County Tourism Board, for her unwavering support in busy 10 months. Without her, the celebration would not have been possible. Amy said if it weren't for the committee, the celebration would not be happening, and wanted to thank the committee for the countless hours that have been dedicated to the purpose. Amy Hammonds reported that she has received a current budget and spending from the committee. Corinne asked why there is $500 being spent for bookkeeping and why is there $1,000 for the railroad. Ed Harrell said that at the time the paper was written, they were not sure the $1,000 was in for Whitewater Valley Railroad, and the $500 is on the record in case there's bookkeeping needed, so the cost is not a surprise. The $1,000 for the railroad has since been received as a direct payment from Progress Rail to the Whitewater Valley Railroad for sponsorship of the train rides. Tamara reported on the amount spent for the Seattle-Washington trip. Anything outside of the approval dates would not be reimbursed. The per diem will be paid regardless. Receipts were sent in from a fish market that is not a restaurant for $172.50. Amy Hammond said she can be reimbursed up to $500 for the per diem as previously stated in the minutes. Corinne brought legal counsel Jim Pruitt to the meeting to speak on her behalf. Amy asked for him to stop speaking as he was not invited to. Amy said she asked on multiple occasions for communication but has not had success. Daniel Phelps made a motion to adjourn. Lindsay seconded. Motion carried.
Any additions or corrections?
It's just a type thing on page 3 of 5. Carol H. Gordon said they are all lined up and scheduled. There should be a DM in that.
Under which topic?
Oh, the history in your own backyard community videos. Should be a DM.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Got it.
Any other additions or corrections?
Did I hear you say that this Michael was Stevens instead,
Yes.
so you've already corrected it?
Yeah,
Yes.
I already corrected that.
Okay, I thought that's what, okay.
Yeah, this is before I printed.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes from the May meeting.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, so by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Treasurer's report from Tamara, please.
Okay, the current balance in the checking account is $52,342.53. That was as of 6/18 yesterday. The balance for bicentennial is $29,329.10. Minus those two, balance for tourism alone would be $23,013.43.
Any questions regarding Tamara's report? I'll entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Who made the original?
Diana.
Okay.
Okay. With the reappointment that the mayor has with Diana, we now have a position open for the vice president's position. So do I have anyone who would like to fill that position? Is already filling a position? That would be Daniel or Diana.
Unless you want to give it up.
You're the only two people on that do not have a position at the moment on the board of 5.
What are the, I mean, just, if you're not here to run the meeting, pretty much.
Yeah, that hasn't been the case yet. Well, one, I was a little late, but yeah, that would be the case.
Do you not want it, Daniel, necessarily? If not, that's fine.
Okay, all right. We need to take a vote for,
Let me get caught up.
nomination for someone that'd like to nominate.
I would like to nominate Diana Phillips for the position of vice president.
Okay. Have a second for that?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain for Diana.
Abstain.
We have to break her in, right?
Yeah.
All right, so now I need to take a vote for that when Lindsay gets caught up.
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor for Diana as vice president of the tourism?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we have old business up next on our agenda. I'm going to start real quick with history in our own backyard. Have the videos been completed? I know they were stated for June 1st. I don't know with all the rain and the weather-related issues that got delayed before, if that's also delayed, or if, I know one of them had been completed at this point that I had seen the last week.
I think there's a couple.
I've seen 2, Railroad and Canal
Canal.
House.
And the campground's been completed.
So there's 3.
Okay. Dale, you have anything you need to update is regarding Mr.
The only thing that I can tell you for sure right now is I know that Satoli has released the video for the Historical Museum, Whitewater Valley Railroad, Historic Elmhurst, and Canal House. I have not seen a video yet for the city of Connersville.
Okay,
He has completed and released those.
okay.
Now, I might ask you if you have been invoiced yet.
No, we have not
Okay. He may wait until he gets
completed.
all 5 on my request to be completed, so as you should expect that relatively soon.
Is that something he's going to invoice you and then you're going to be getting to us, or is he invoicing us direct?
I think it was his understanding he would invoice the tourism board itself
Okay.
for the 5 videos that was in my grant request. The one on the campground was outside the scope of the request that I made.
Right.
And there was, one of the local churches had one made too, and there may have been 1 or 2 more.
Okay.
So, and I haven't had any involvement in those.
Okay.
So there is one thing though that I haven't done that I still will do concerning the 5 videos on my request. I still have yet to provide you with the tax exempt numbers for those 5. And it would actually be 4 because the same tax exempt number would cover the museum and Canal House, but you weren't paying for the Canal House. HCI paid for that themselves. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a total of 5 that you granted.
The grant
So-
request. Okay. Well, as soon as we get that, then we'll make sure.
Okay, so if he hasn't invoiced you, that's a sure sign that he's not satisfied that he's completely done.
Okay. Well, we'll be on the lookout for that.
Okay. Now you know what I know.
Okay. We appreciate your update. Thank
Okay.
you. All right, then we have can we get a geocaching update from Lindsay?
Yeah. Give me a sec. Okay.
Typing dog at the same time.
So far we've had mostly 30 to 40 people have visited each geocache. And I've been getting the surveys back. The quickest it's been done is just under 6 hours, which I think they're crazy. Most people have been spending at least 1 weekend, sometimes 2 weekends, to get all 30 caches and other caches in the area found. And we've had a lot of out-of-state people, a lot. So we've had a lot of people from Dayton, Cincinnati area, Louisville, and then Indianapolis. There's only been 2 or 3 local people so far that have completed it. And I've also heard reports that there's been people in the area from Texas and California searching for the caches. So I think it's really good. I've just done a few minor maintenance issues.
So is that taking a lot of your time?
No.
Diane, are you aware of what
I was getting
geocaching?
ready to say,
Well, yeah, I was gonna have Lindsay kind of give you a little overall of what geocaching is, because I didn't know about it either.
Yeah,
So-
I was gonna ask that.
So geocaching is a high-tech treasure hunt where people have an app on their phone or they can use a GPS unit, and they search for basically containers hidden somewhere. In conjunction with the bicentennial, the tourism board paid to have a geo tour done, which advertises online to millions of people worldwide about our county and what we're doing here. And each of the 30 caches or containers that I've placed around the area have a story, a historical story that goes with them. So when you pull up the information for each cache, it has the bicentennial logo, then it has, if I could find a really good old picture for it, that location, and then a paragraph 2 or 3 about the history of the area.
And is there a pamphlet or information, or is it on the app?
It's all online, yeah.
So there's an app that you can... okay.
Yeah, and there's also a regular website called geocaching.com.
So it's G-O-C-A-C-H-E, is that what it is?
geocaching.com. Yeah.
Caching.
Oh,
Yeah.
C-A-C-H-I-N-G.
Yeah. And then we also have a dedicated page on our website that Angel and I have built that has more extra information about our geo tour. And then people are given the chance to print out a passport. The passport, which is really supposed to be a little booklet, but they answer questions about all of the cache locations. And when they send this in to us, I send back, it's a car decal to them as a
Okay.
prize for doing all of the caches.
That's-
But they have to give us their information. And then I have a little survey, like how many people were in your group, how long did it take you, how many nights did you stay in our area, where did you stay, how did you hear about the Geo Tour, and then any comments that they have.
So it was something neat that a lot of people are into, even though we didn't know a lot about it, some of us, that people do all over the United States. And so we thought by capturing this.
Worldwide, honestly.
Worldwide,
Yeah.
yeah. By capturing this in Fayette County, it would draw people to come from out of state,
Absolutely.
possibly stay all night at the campground or the hotel or whatever, eat at our restaurants, visit our other historical things that we have here locally, and would really play up Connersville as far as putting us on the map for that.
Makes sense.
And that was-
So far, it's done its job.
I may have to look into that.
Yeah, so far it has done its job. Have I done it yet? No. So,
I'm thinking about it.
It's only been-
We have a
Yeah.
yearly commitment under this contract for the Geo Tour, and then every year we have the opportunity to renew the contract.
But so far, it's been well worth.
Yeah, for 4 weeks, 3 weeks, it's been open.
Wow.
I mean, we've had between 30 and 40, probably groups of people, because I've noticed it's like one cacher and then like a friend or a family with them.
That's,
It's not just started, it should get more and more as time goes on, right?
Absolutely. Well, once it stops raining and dries, I think there will be a lot more people out.
oh, yeah.
plus summer just got started with kids out of school and things, so people are just vacationing, so hopefully that'll bring people into the community.
Yeah.
Thanks for that update, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Something on old business, Tamara and I had just discussed it because we just received this in the mail, and I'll bring this up, is the Indiana Festivals Association. We had elected, due to a lot of other things that we wanted to use our monies towards this year, not to advertise in the 2019 Indiana State Festival Guide. I received an invoice just in the last week and a half that was dated August 31st of 2017. And it stated that we were in the book for 2018 last year, and that we owe an invoice of $4,925. So currently, I have emailed the company and have not had a response back. So I'm waiting to hear back from them, and it may be a commitment that the previous board made that of course we would have to look into in the minutes previously. So I just wanted to let everybody know where we stood on that in case there was any questions that came up with that. So why it's dated August 31st, 2017, and I just received it, I'm not sure. So. All right, webpage, I know Lindsay's catching up here typing. Angel had sent me the third installment for the invoice that we had approved when we first started. So we will take care of getting that paid. However, the website is up and going fairly well, I think. Lindsay has met with Angel Perez a couple different times, I think. Gone over things. I'll let you, Lindsay, tell you a little bit more about, she has the full access to the website as well to be able to do the updates. So Lindsay, if you want to give a brief update on that as well.
Yeah, so I think I've taken a big load off of Angel because I can just go in there and change and edit things now. And he's given me full reign of that,
Okay.
which I don't think he expected to do at first, but I caught on pretty quickly and he just kept giving me more and more information on how to do things. But I mean, the biggest change recently, besides the geocaching page, which is getting a lot of traffic from the Geo Tour, is just dropping the bicentennial page. It's really the only changes that I can. And there wasn't anything really to replace the bicentennial besides just our normal events and activities that can go on the calendar. So
We upgraded and went to a new web page because we didn't have access to the previous page, the domain. so that they did previously in the last group. So Angel Perez is the one who we had contracted to do that, his studio. And so he worked over a 90-day period as getting us all up to speed. And then we unveiled it just 2 or 3 weeks before the bicentennial celebration with a splash with that information on there about the bicentennial as well as all the other things. At this point, Lindsay, has anything else been updated with like the courthouse? I know information about the courthouse was vacant off of that website.
I'm not sure if he has or not.
Okay, so we're still kind of plugging in the information as we receive it, or if anything comes up that we want to be put on there, we can always add that.
But all 3 phases have been taken care of now?
Yes.
Yeah, we're
So-
going to do the third phase.
Yeah, it looks really nice. If you have a chance to
I will.
take a look at that.
I have something to bring up about that. Last I looked, all the cities' websites had the old link still, and they need to be updated, so I don't know who to tell about that. Because right now it takes them to the old website, which is in Japanese.
Okay, so the city, so.
Yeah, it was like the
So-
Carnesville Community website had the old website still on it, so it needs updated.
Okay, so
And
we'll
also
get-
on this agenda sheet needs
Okay.
updated too.
Yeah, well,
So-
you could probably pick up an old one.
Who takes care of that listening? Would that be?
John Posey, maybe?
I don't know, that's why I brought it up, because I don't know. But it needs,
Yeah, so-
all those links need updated so they can pay for the right one.
So links need updated. Let me see.
And what is it now? It's
It's tourconnersville.org.
.org.
Yeah, it's the same thing, we just changed it.
Couldn't get by the document.
All right, so we'll get with Mr. Posey and see if that's something that he would do on that. All right, okay, Mike Sparks is here and Ed Harrell from the Bicentennial, sporting their Bicentennial shirts. Both of you have things to say, or Mike, you want to come up?
Well, not really.
Mike's going to give us an overview or review of the Bicentennial, and then also, I didn't know if you had a souvenir, if you had anything about the souvenirs as well.
I've got that on I've been scribbling on my page ever since I got here.
I have the souvenirs total.
Oh, that's good.
And welcome.
Thank you very much.
Glad to see you here. There was another geocacher out home just before I left.
Yay!
I didn't talk to them.
They love your cash there.
We've got a lot of them.
Tell me where it's at, Mike.
No, yeah.
No.
It's
It's in,
my granddaughter about that.
it's in Fayette County. Okay, try not to make this too lengthy, but number one, pretty obvious, I think by all accounts, our celebration, your celebration, really, was quite successful. If there was any downside, it certainly wasn't the people that did the planning, and I'm not referring to Jenny and I, we're referring to people on this board and all the others, Ed sitting here, and all the others that worked so hard to put that together. We said from the very beginning, they were the ones that were going to create the success we knew was coming, and they did. If there was any downside at all, it was simply the weather. It rained on us on 2 pretty critical junctures, one being Thursday evening during Daniel Rodriguez. Right at the time where people would have been coming in, it came a real downpour, so we're sure that cut down on our crowd that evening. The concert was great. People that were there got to see the stage and lighting for the very first time. They were thrilled with his time with us here in Connersville. So, I don't quibble about the weather. Had I wished it had been sunny and dry, yes. But I rue the day that man ever learns how to control the weather. So it's just something we accept. And so we did. And then we know it rained on us on Sunday afternoon, and that pretty well, it ultimately washed out our late Sunday afternoon and closing ceremony. So that was a very tough decision. I think I really believe it was the right decision, but it was hard.
But the ice cream was still really good.
Oh, yeah.
For those that showed up in the rain to get ice cream, it was good.
In a hurricane, it would still be good ice cream. But anyway, the reality is, and looking back, had we had our closing ceremony that evening, we would have been talking to ourselves because with the weather like it was, we would not have had the big crowd we had hoped for anyway. So, things kind of work out. And the retrospective makes it pretty clear. I still think it was the right decision, but it didn't make it any easier at the time. Bills and invoices, I know Tamara's probably still working on that, but I think by this point, the biggest part of our bills, invoices should be in. I know there's some that are still out. But I want to give you a couple examples of why I think we're going to be in really good shape ultimately with the budget compared to what we were projecting all along. During the All-Race Sunday, our budget number 26 called for allocating up to $2,250 for free ice cream. I think ultimately it came in just at or a little under 400. So, we've got a tremendous, that's kind of a hard way to get it. We would have much rather had everybody show up and a nice day, but we've got a tremendous savings there compared to estimated expenditures, because I think the final from them was like 400 against that budget of 2,250. And there were a lot of other instances where we did not use 10%. There were budgets that didn't even use all of their budgeted amount without the 10%. And as with the city celebration, we did get into the 10% on a few, but that was kind of the exception, just like it was before. My advice to anybody that does a thing like this in the future won't be us, but for somebody in the future, add the 10%. Boy, that makes it so much easier. You don't have to go back and redo a budget. You just, if you need to, you get into that for a justified reason. It's been pretty smooth, I think, and we learned some of those lessons last time around. Actually, Ed's the one, I think, that created this budget clear back leading up the form that we used all through the city celebration, and we just did a little revamp and used it again. Wasn't it Sheriff McQueen that actually cleaned it up where we could actually read it?
She made it look professional.
Yeah, she did. Very much so. So we appreciated that. But boy, that makes the job a lot easier when you've got the records, so you can at least get a handle on where you think you're going with the budget. Number 3 on my list, Parks Department lighting sponsorship. I know that's not in yet, but we have checked on that, and it's our understanding that the Parks Board will have a meeting Monday, and that's on the agenda. Their intention is to vote to go ahead and cut that check. And if you remember, I don't have the exact amount, but I think it's about $6,800, not far off of $7,000. And, that is their contribution toward the lighting of the park. So that will improve our budget picture that much more. And it was part of our thinking ever since. I don't have it here, but I've got it in the book, the date when they actually voted to approve that. So we know it's coming. Yeah, and I see I got my numbers. I got such a big hurry here. I've got 2 number 3s on this list. Anyway, that's about the time my grandson came over to me and I forgot to change my numbers. What happened if you don't know the truth? Anyway, the book. The book has been a concern. And here's why. Anytime you start planning for a book, especially something where you're gathering information as you're trying to put your figures together, it's really shooting at a moving target, because we projected maybe up to 200 pages in this county history book. Actually, I don't know what Ed thought. I thought that was being pretty optimistic when we started, that we would have 200 pages, because you got to remember, we just did 2 history books a few years ago, but that's primarily city. We made it plain all along. This time the book was to be primarily county, outline county information. And we really think this will be a unique book in that regard. There's county information out there, but unless you're a true historian around here, you have trouble knowing where to go to find it because it's scattered here and there in different publications. We wanted to pull as much together in one dedicated book as part of the county celebration of its bicentennial, and that has been done. In fact, we have been so successful that Pat Suman came to us, was that cleanup Monday or Sunday? Anyway, it was late during this whole thing with an issue, and the issue was this. Our group, all together, the township people, Pat, everybody that's been working towards information for this book have been so successful in bringing things out. You know, some of it's what we were calling the nearly forgotten history. We figured within a generation, a lot of it would have been lost if we didn't get it down in writing. We've been successful enough that we have, she said she thought we were going to surpass our 200-page estimate that we had based original figures on. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is what I just mentioned, a lot more information than we originally thought we would end up with. Keeping in mind, we used 200 pages as an estimate months ago when this thing was, you know, all we knew at that point was we wanted to do a book. The other thing is, if there was any criticism whatsoever about the two books several years ago for the city celebration, it was that some of the pictures people thought were a little small, a little bit hard to see detail. So we elected this time to make our pictures bigger so they would be, and of course in today's world of Photoshop and all the other things that are done, you know, they can take even a grainy picture and make it look better than it did from the original. So the pictures this time around will be bigger. We know they're going to be better quality than they would have been in the past. Some of them are better than the originals that they made the images from. All that together, Pat came to us, you know, what do we do here? Because we're probably going to go over 200 pages. Do we start cutting information? Do we go back and make our pictures smaller? In the end, we decided, basically, I decided, Jenny, Ed concurred, we didn't want to, we think this is probably the last major book that'll be done in this community in our lifetime. This is the third one in the last several years. Can't really see somebody going through what it takes to put one of these together. You'd have to ask Pat Suman what it really takes, what it really entails. That's been her project and countless hours for the last 11 months now. So anyway, the bottom line was, we ultimately decided, no, we do not want to make the picture smaller. We do not want to cut down on pertinent information. It was the whole point of doing a book, was to get rid of that. So I didn't even have this information in time to get it in here. My big concern, and something that has bugged me in the middle of the nights, was we knew if we did a lot of pages more than 200, it obviously would make the book more costly to us. What was that going to do to our bottom line versus what we promised you folks? How was that going to affect our budget overall? At the time I typed this, or whatever you call it on the computer nowadays, I didn't even have the figures. That Pat called me just before I walked out the door, so it's scribbled if you want to write it down. We right now have sold 194 books. That is quite significant because we get a considerable price break at 200. Well, I can tell you right now, we're going to sell 200 books. If some of us have to buy Christmas presents early, we're going to sell 200 books. So we will get that price break. We've been really pushing hard behind the scenes for that for some time. And we're close now. We know we're going to get there. Now you know why I called you the other night, my brother-in-law. Where's your book order form? So anyway, we're up to 194. We will top 200. By the way, if you know anybody else that hasn't ordered a book and would have an interest, we're going to end this end of this month, so there's not much time left. They will never be printed again. And the reason I say that is HCI is buying 25 books. they wondered about buying some more later. Well, we checked to start the setup process over later, year, 2, 5, it's going to be prohibitively expensive. So our thinking is when the deadline falls at the end of this month, that's what we've been, it was just in the paper again last week if you saw it. When that deadline hits, there will probably never be another one of these books printed, at least probably in our lifetime. So this is going to be it. We're almost certain, well, I'd say more than that. I am confident there will be disappointed people in here once they actually see the book, leaf through it. It's got the most beautiful cover, I think, of any of the 3 books that have been done. And the content for people that are keying in on county history, I think the content's going to be unequal. So I've got a few, if anybody knows of somebody that still wants one, I've got a few of the order forms. I can give you one of those tonight, but you'll need to get the information to Pat Sue, and everything you need to know is in the corner on the order form. If anybody else wants one. That's the sales part of my speech. But anyway, here's the way it's going to shake out. We're going to be real close, but I think I can explain to you how we're going to be fine. As of the figures that Pat got late this afternoon, when we hit that 200 sold, the cost to us of each book will be $41.06. That is an increase because now we're looking, we think, at 260 pages. Before it was 200. So obviously we've got a pretty good increase in percentage of page numbers. Okay, we add, this is an estimate, but we think it's close, a per book setup cost of about $2.60. Keep in mind, that's an estimate. Well, then that gets us up to $43.66. Sales tax will be a little less than, we just rounded it up to $5. Now we're up to $48.66. $48.66. Our price of $50 included shipping. Shipping, we knew about what it was going to be before, but now the book's going to be a little heavier because it's got 66 pages more. To tell you the truth, I can't remember what the shipping was before. But anyway, shipping's going to be a few dollars. Now, on the surface, that looks like we're going to lose money on every book. Technically, we will, because we're charging $50. Here's where we're going to be okay. We're not going to be over by very much. Now, keep in mind, we priced this book before we knew any of this, months ago. We purposely priced it as low as we could. We didn't think we were going to be in this situation. But we wanted to keep it affordable. This is a soft cover book. That's not the technical term. What do you call it?
No, that's right.
Close enough.
No, it's soft
Hardback,
cover.
paperback.
Soft cover.
Yeah.
It's not hard cover. It's soft
Yeah, it's not a true paperback. It's not a hard cover. Anyway,
It's soft cover.
there's a thing floating around here called the interim report. It's about this thick. It's orange. And at first we kind of envisioned something like this. Well, 260 pages is going to be considerably bigger than the interim report, but it's going to be a similar soft cover. So the point was we wanted to keep it as inexpensive as we could based on 200 pages. We priced it the way we did. But see, we're locked in. We can't change that. We've been advertising that for months. Well, the pages have grown. It's not even something commercial printing has done. It's just that our people were too good at gathering information, basically. But here's where I think we're going to be in good shape. We did one budget for the book. It was number 11. The budget is for $2,200. The setup fee total, we think, I see that was designed to take care of setup fees. We didn't know exactly what they were going to be, so we did a $2,000 budget and a 10%, so $2,200. Budget number 11. That was done way back. We think the setup fee is going to fall in the neighborhood of $400, $500, $600. So we're going to have a lot of money left from budget 11. We think more than enough to cover any difference between our $50 per book charge and the 52, 3, 4, whatever it's going to be in actuality. Should we be selling a book at under cost? Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. The whole celebration was free. We wanted the community to be able to just come and participate. Obviously, we intended all along to charge for a book, and we have. Well, because we added so many pages, we're falling probably a little bit short per. But one of the things we said all along, we asked sponsors to sponsor the celebration. And I think I look at this as just one more sponsorship. Because, the money we collected was, except for the stage, and that was targeted, money we collected was not earmarked for a specific thing. It was just earmarked for the celebration. So I think we're clearly within the boundaries of the norm to dip into part of that budget 11. We're going to have hundreds of dollars left. In fact, we're going to have well over $1,000 left there. And we can use that for any difference between the actual book cost. The alternative would have been if we'd said, Pat, no, you can't do that. You're going to have to keep it at 200 pages, or you're going to have to reduce the picture size, which in effect would have reduced picture quality. Personally, I think Ed would concur. I know Jenny would, she was here. We think we made the right decision to do it this way. We're going to be covered. We're still going to be in the black on the book if you consider this budget 11 as part of the equation. And we've been carrying budget 11 all along, the full 2,200 as part of our anticipated expense. So is that clear as mud?
Clear?
Okay. Sometimes you have to explain it to me again. It's very clear. Anyway, I'm relieved. That has caused me, the last thing I wanted to have to do is come to you folks and say, in spite of 11 months now of promises, we have screwed up on this budget. Well, I think you're going to be pleased at what you folks have allowed Pat and the rest of them to do when you see this book. I think you're going to think it's worth it. Okay, number 4, closing ceremony. Obviously, we didn't get to do our closing ceremony and stage and lighting dedication on our Sunday evening because of the rain out. We have scheduled that for Wednesday, June the 26th, 6 p.m. there at the stage. I don't know how many of you know Jamie. You do, from T&J Sound, the lighting guy. But I hope all of you will be there next Wednesday evening, and when you're there, I hope you will take time to seek out Jamie. He will be there, and thank him. Now, I'm sure he made money on the lighting. He's in business to make money on those kind of things. But I will also tell you, he went far above and beyond in helping us all he could. I can't even begin to describe how many hours he and Jackie Church devoted to pulling that thing out of the fire on several occasions and bringing it across the finish line. And Jamie was part of it. And the reason I'd like for you to target him specifically next Wednesday is we had our little get-together out at Sue Ann and Steve's last night, and the question came up, okay, we're going to do this now next Wednesday. What about some sort of sound? Wouldn't it be nice to have the new lights on? It's going to be daylight, but the people on the stage will be able to see them. Probably for most of them, that'll be the first time they've ever viewed them from that perspective, even if they were at the concerts. So we asked Jackie to contact Jamie and see what he would do for us. Got back word this afternoon. I was already calling Jamie part of the bicentennial family. He lives in Liberty. But anyway, we got back word today. He's going to come and do stage and lighting free. Yeah. Yeah, stage. No, we're not building another stage. That will be in this lifetime either. But he's doing sound and lighting. And he's not charging us. And So we're grateful for that. I didn't want to come to you with another budget for that either. So we asked them to see if he would help us out. So when you see him, big guy, fairly long hair, he'll be up there doing all this with his computer controls for sound and lighting. Please take a moment and thank him, because he's helped us out so many times. And by the way, he's the same guy that did sound and lighting for much of our stuff back in 2013.
He also did this stuff for the high school, and he also helps us out at IPA too.
He does our sound at the campground.
So,
Let's see. I don't have it on here, but I did want to mention a couple things about geocache. We've had the honor of having people come out home, and if we're out mowing the yard or something in between the rainstorms, we've talked to several of these folks, and one of them has been to every state except one. And I'm thinking, well, that would be Hawaii. No, he's been to Hawaii. Geocaching. That's the part I didn't hear. Every state except one, geocaching. He was from Dayton. And the one state he hasn't been to is Alaska, but he's going.
Oh, wow.
So now there's a dedicated geocacher.
How big this is?
I get it. Wow.
By the way, you're not alone in not knowing anything about geocache, because when Tamara and Lindsay first started talking about Ed and I and Jenny, we weren't alone. What are these people talking about? You know, it was one of those moments. And it took about 6 months for us to finally get a little bit up to speed on what they actually were talking
It's
about.
accurate.
But I can tell you now, I can verify everything they told us is true, because we've got 2 geocache sites in Fayette County. And I can tell you that we've only talked to 1 or 2 people from Fayette County. They're coming from all over the place. Talked to one group that came down I forget, maybe a Sunday afternoon about this, I don't remember. Anyway, they had geocached starting north of Fort Wayne, where they live. They had geocached all the way down State Road 1 until they got down here so they could start doing the bicentennial geocache. They just act like they're giddy with excitement. Somebody told Jenny they thought they knew Fayette County. This was somebody from Oxford, but they've been over here doing these other geocaches in the past. And their remark was they thought they knew Fayette County pretty well until they started on this one. So obviously we're hitting a lot of things that were on the radar before. So I got to say, everything that was told to us is true about geocaching. There's no doubt some of these people got to be spending overnight here because of the time they're saying they're spending here on it. Well, isn't that what tourism's all about? So it's real. Jenny and I didn't know a thing about it till we got introduced to it during the earliest part of the bicentennial. Let's see. You mentioned down here, I've got it written down to Brady. We have souvenirs left. We're going to have them, or at least some of them, up there next week on Wednesday. We hope to sell a few more. But ultimately, you folks are going to need to decide. I don't think Jackie wants to store them in our living room forever. I haven't asked her, but I'm assuming she probably just as soon not. Now, here's what I would like to see, but it'll be totally up to you folks. Why not? I know most of the bicentennial stuff is, or is, it's either coming down, it's already gone from the website because it's over. And I'm one that doesn't like to get on the website and see stuff that's 3 years old, you know, so it needs to come down. But my suggestion to you is everything that sells just goes back into your kitty. Why not devote a piece of a page still to bicentennial souvenirs, put some pictures on there? We got some neat stuff, and a lot of it's sold. We're sold out of a few things. We're getting close on others. We don't have too many coverlets left out of that initial 60. I think we're down in the teens now, the number of coverlets that are left. Why not put part of a page of pictures on there with the prices? And if you're going to do that, then obviously somebody's going to have to be the one to be the contact. But it would just be, you know, anything you folks take in from this point on is just manna, because we never budgeted 1 cent of souvenir money. That was never factored in our budgets because we didn't know what it was going to be. and we need someone who would be after the facts.
Could you
I'm
put
just
some-
throwing that out there for consideration.
Well, I don't know, but we could just have a booth at the fair maybe,
Oh, absolutely.
or team up with somebody who already has a spot at the fair, like the Sparkses.
Well, that may, unfortunately, that may, or we've been assuming that would happen until we found out a
Yeah, so-
tremendous rate increase with the spots.
Oh, wow.
We may not be up there.
Okay.
We thought all along we would be selling souvenirs up there. And we may, this is not the place, I'll just tell you, it's a 400% increase. So, anyway. The only other thing,
Sponsors of bicentennial booth for the fair.
Yeah, we could do that. We could sponsor a booth for the fair possibly too, because I mean, we need to move them and it would be publicity for the tourism.
No, I wouldn't mind.
yeah, it's nothing
And
but
we
a
could
plus
also
for you
do
folks at this
some
point.
geocache seminars during the fair too.
Do what?
We could do some
Geocache
geocaching
seminars.
seminars, teach them how to
People
do
about
it.
those.
The fair's about the end of July.
Yeah, so we'll be able to vote on everything. Yeah, so we could vote on everything at next month's meeting. We'd be
Yeah.
done.
Well, I don't need any answer, I just wanted to throw it out there. The only other thing I've got, I was, I think, having eye surgery last tourism board meeting when Jenny thanked Amy specifically and the board. I think she did a good job of that, but we never would have gotten off of first base had it not been for this board and the work that you're new,
Yes, I
but the rest of this board all devoted time, energy, suggestions, projects, you know, it goes on and on. Amy supported us all the way as the president. You don't do something like this by yourself. You don't even do it as a committee. You gotta have the community behind you. And it all started here, and it all ends here, because if you have that booth up there for the fair, and if we're there, you'd be welcome to be part of ours. In fact, that's what we have figured all along would happen. But however that shakes out, I guarantee you're gonna get positive feedback from the just completed celebration. How can that not be good for this committee moving forward? Because it speaks to everything you're about, isn't it? Lindsay can talk about the fact that people are coming here and spending overnight to do geocache. And we can, and we, if we're there, we can all talk about the positives. We won't have to do much. We know from past experience, people will come to you and be talking about it. So I would highly recommend that that happen Fair Week somehow. And, but I wanted to thank each one of you, because Ed knows, Jen and I know, all of our committee knows, we could have done nothing without your support and your backing through the good. And, you know, there's always some rough times when you put together something that involves this many facets and many months. You get to the finish line successfully, and we always knew we would. Didn't we say that? Because of the people we had working on it. They're sitting in this room, and the rest of our committee, and everybody from the community that came out of the woodwork. Stage and lighting isn't the best example we'll ever see of a community, of a project that started within the bicentennial, but look what happened to it. All of a sudden it exploded into something where we had major community-wide support. And not just verbal, it was this, the money. I fell over the day the mayor offered us, you know, major funding to help with that. We didn't want to use it. Ultimately, I'm very proud of the fact we ultimately did not have to use the mayor's money. We thanked him profusely. You know why that was so important the day he made that offer? It allowed us to move forward with our planning and still live within our promise to you, which was to not overreach. we couldn't have moved forward without him making that pledge, even though we knew from the beginning we didn't want to use that money if we didn't have to. And here's why I think that was the right decision. That money is now already being used for other good, worthy causes in this community. That's why we didn't want to touch it. So, I'm done. I'm getting ready to donate this book to the Smithsonian or somebody along with my computer's shocking me now when I leave my arm on. So I think it's about time to retire it. But anyway, thank you folks. It's been quite a ride.
Well, I just want to say publicly, thank you to Mike, Jenny, Ed, all the steering committee. You did a great job. Very proud of the job that you guys did to help with the celebration and to make it what it was. Thanks to each and every one of you guys on the board. We've endured a lot over the last several months. I think we've learned a lot.
And you know what? It was worth it.
It was worth it. In the end, it was worth it. When you would drive up Park Road and see all of the flags and all of the comments that we received on those and just the looks on people's faces, and it was, yeah, definitely worth it. So thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
I have just one question on the books.
Oh,
Are you ordering more than what you have order forms for? Okay.
it was from the very beginning, we planned this. Actually, it's the same thing they did clear back in 1963 for the local sesquicentennial. Prepaid, pre-ordered, no extras. Except HCI has said they want to buy 25. They'll sell them over there.
In case we get the question, then we have the
If you
answer.
have a form,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
if you only at least be one, Diana one.
Yes.
Mike, do you know if the library bought some?
The library.
Did the library buy any?
That'd be a Pat question. I don't know. I think surely, but I
Can you
can't
give me
tell.
an extra
Sure.
form, just because I've spent the last 5 days there and I won't be there the next 3 days, so I can pass it on.
Here's one. Somebody else want one?
I'll take one.
And I'll take one for the library and Kate, just in case, if you have extra. I mean, I can have her make a copy if we need, that way you
I'll take one if you have an extra.
That's my last one.
Well, I'll make a copy.
Okay.
We can make copies.
Yeah, we'll make copies.
I can get another copy or something. I gotta keep one for the Smithsonian.
That's right.
I'll take a picture and I'll print it out.
Anybody's gonna care.
All right, any other questions regarding any old business for Bicentennial? Okay.
When do we disband the committee?
After all the bills and stuff.
I'd say after all the bills, yeah.
Okay, so maybe next month.
Got it.
All right, on to new business, which Mike has alluded to this a little bit. The Bicentennial closing ceremony will be next Wednesday night at 6 p.m. For those of you that can't attend, I plan to attend that evening. New grant requests. We have one new grant request that was submitted for discussion and to be voted on tonight. It was for, the event name is the 2019 Hullabaloo Variety Show. The facilitator name is Cindy Perez, under the organization Imagine Performing Arts. They are requesting a grant for $300. The location is in the Roberts Building in Roberts Park. It is an annual event. The dates are July 19th and 20th of 2019. What is your expected turnout for this event? They have put 200. Visitors outside of the Fayette County area estimated at 50. Asked to describe the event as an annual variety show offering a fun evening of live performance. They encourage overnight stays because of out-of-town guests. Says this is a fun show that entertains a wide audience of diverse ages. Their total event budget is $1,500. They are requesting, again, $300 from us for newspaper, television, and printed materials for advertising. And this was submitted and given to me by City Perez on May 10th. Pass this down. I know everybody else has a copy,
Yeah.
digital copy, but there's Diane if you want to look at that.
I'll make a motion to accept the grant as written.
Have a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, I have a second. Daniel would be abstaining from this because he is a member of the IPA.
Courteously. That's 1776, by the way. For those that don't understand, that's a musical joke.
All right.
Catches.
Okay, so I have, all right, so all those in favor of approving the grant for $300 for IPA?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carried, approved for $300. Thank you. Okay. All right, this is just some business we need to discuss. The phone. Tamara currently has the cell phone that we have. She said that she will gladly keep that, but we need to approve for more purchase of minutes. So we normally do that at 2 months at a time. So I need a,
I make a motion.
okay?
I'll second.
Now,
Okay.
can you explain that to me?
We have a cell phone that we use for tourism.
Okay.
It is a cell phone that people can call. It's listed on our website.
Okay.
They have questions. Prior to this board taking over, it was directed the number to the Canal House. So we had to do something different with it when we took over. So the best way that we were able to do that was to go month to month on the Smart Talk.
And so you take care of that?
Well,
We've been passing it around
Okay,
and taking
okay.
turns with
Okay,
it, so.
But if I'm gonna get the cards here soon, then it'd probably just be easier to hold on to it so I can activate them and.
Yeah, because we just do the minutes and then you activate those monthly, so.
Okay.
But we usually get them a couple at a time in case we're in between meetings, and
Right.
so we don't want to have no access to the phone, so.
How much is it a month? Is it $35?
It's fine.
Usually, I think,
minutes that you purchase.
I've been getting 3 months at a time, so it's 115,
What was it for each card? 35?
35.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was presented good. I was-
Yeah, I mean,
I don't remember that. Okay.
115, 35.
115.35 for, yeah, the phone cards. Okay, so that would be for 3 months. Okay, so I will entertain a motion for approval. We already did a motion. Second. Second, Lindsay, second, sorry. All those in favor of approval for 3 months purchase of minutes for the cell phone for the tourism board?
Aye.
Okay, those opposed? Okay, motion carried. Sorry, I got a little, it's okay, stuck there. Okay. Next would be, so we have a Tour Connersville Facebook page.
Okay.
And so Lindsay, she is our person who takes care of all things Facebook, social media. So she does push things. It's called Facebook Push. Is that what the good word?
Yeah, so anytime there's local events coming in, I like to advertise those, like the larger events.
Is it like a boost?
Yeah, it's a
Yes,
boost on
that,
posts. And they're pretty inexpensive. The last two I did were for $10 and $15. I usually do about $25 to do a little bit longer time span to reach more people. But I would like to ask, and I've had a gift card before for this that it's a little MasterCard thing I put online. There's two things that need to be done. So Amy actually purchased a gift card for $25 for use during the bicentennial for some of those events. And I would like to get her reimbursed for that money. And then I'd also like to get another gift card because the one I had has run out to continue advertising. And Diana, something that is in our normal budget is money set aside for advertising. So this is just, it's a motion to
Take it
spend it.
It's the
Yeah.
budget, you're just, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's just part of advertising, but because we do it sporadically, that's where it comes out of that.
Right.
So, and we don't want anyone to use their own personal card or anything, so these are just Visa gift cards. You can be purchased at the bank,
Right.
so that way it's nobody's in jeopardy of getting their card number stolen or anything. So that's what that's for.
Let's
So.
go in, and the ladies are like, here you go.
All right, so in order to purchase two of those, plus the fee, would be what, $52, $53?
275 would be 550.
So $55.50. So that would take care of the previous one. So $55.50 would be the total, so.
Okay, I was actually thinking about maybe getting one that'll last me a little bit longer.
Okay, so you're thinking about
So-
like $50 card.
Yeah, that, or the one that I had before was for $100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just held on to
The
it
first
for a
one's for
while.
$100.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could do out of the advertising, we could do $100 for the purchase of a one to be used
100 plus
plus the,
the charges, which would be 275 times 4, right? So-
Is there just,
it's just one charge.
Oh,
per
so it's
card.
275, no, okay.
Yeah, so it would be the $102.75 plus the previous one, $27.75. So the total for that, and then we can entertain a motion for,
Yeah, that's right.
what is it,
130.50?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion for gift card purchases of $130.50 to be used towards the boost for Facebook and previous use for Facebook boost.
So
Second.
Okay, wait, who?
Diana.
I did, Dana.
Okay, all those in favor of approving?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Okay. Does anyone have any additions to the agenda for this evening?
So who do we report things for the agenda to? Who takes care of that?
To me.
To you? Okay.
By email, and I can get your email tonight.
Okay.
And then if you want to just jot it down at the top of that agenda, and then you can I'll email you and you can do that. All right. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion.
Second.
All right, all those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
All right, motion accepted, meeting adjourned.